Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all will be fine. So in previous video, you have learned something about the author, his grandparents and the old banyan tree, where many birds and animals were living. Now in today's video, I'll explain some more paragraph. So look into your book, paragraph number 3. My first friend was a small grey squirrel, arching his back and sniffing into the air. He seemed at first to resent my invasion of his privacy. But when he found that I did not arm myself with catapult or air gun, he became friendly. And when I started bringing him pieces of cake and biscuit, he grew quite bold and was soon taking morsels from hand. Before long, he was developing into my pockets and helping himself to whatever he could find. He was a very young squirrel, and his friends and relatives probably thought him foolish and headstrong for trusting a human. So now in this paragraph, you will know about the friendship of author with the squirrel, which was living on that banyan tree. The author first of all made friendship with a grey color squirrel. At first, when the author went into the squirrel's privacy, it means when the author entered the private and separate part of the garden where the squirrel was living, the squirrel did not like the author's entry in that part, and the squirrel also showed its dislike and disapproval by making its back into the shape of arch angle and smelt into the air. Usually animals do like this to express their disapproval and dislike. In short, in the beginning, when the author went there, the squirrel was little afraid, but when the squirrel saw that the author had no weapon like catapult or air gun, he became friendly. And the author also started giving pieces of cake and biscuit to the squirrel. So day by day, the squirrel was getting bolder. Even in a short time, the squirrel itself started taking the small pieces of foods or anything else from his pocket. Now, the friendship was very strong, and there was no fear between them. That squirrel was very young. His friends and relatives thought him to be fool and headstrong. Headstrong means stubborn. It means his friends and relatives did not like the squirrel's friendship with a human. That's why they thought that squirrel fool and headstrong. So this is your third paragraph. I hope it's very clear to you. Now come to the fourth one. In the spring, when the banyan tree was full of small red figs, birds of all kinds would flock into its branches. The red-bottomed bulbul, cheerful and greedy parrots, myna and crows squabbling with one another. During the fig season, the banyan tree was the noisiest place in the garden. So now in this paragraph, the author describes the atmosphere of garden in the fig season, especially the banyan tree. So in that season, the banyan tree used to be in full bloom. It used to be full of small red figs. Figs means fruit which grows on the banyan tree. And different kinds of birds like bulbul, parrot, crows, mynas, etc. gathered in group on the tree and fight each other over small things. Their voices together used to make the banyan tree noisiest place in the garden during the fig season. Now look at the fifth paragraph. Halfway up the tree I had built a crude platform where I would spend the afternoons when it was not too hot. I could read there, propping myself up against the tree with a cushion from the living room. Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and the story of Dr. Dolittle were some of the books that made up my banyan tree library. Now in this paragraph, the author says that he also had made a platform, it means a place to sit, that was on the top of the tree. So in the afternoon, when it was not too hot, the author used to spend some time sitting there. He also put a cushion which he took from his drawing room, and he was able to read at this place leaning against the tree. He also had set up a small tree library, and the book that he read there were Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and the story of Dr. Dolittle. Now come to the last paragraph of part 1. When I did not feel like reading, I could look down through the leaves at the world below, and on one particular afternoon, I had a grandstand view of that classic of the Indian wilds, a fight between a mongoose and a cobra. So in the previous paragraph, the author says that he made that banyan tree a mini library, and he used to keep many books there and read also. Now in this paragraph, the author says that when he was feeling bored while reading books, sitting on the tree, he used to look down through the gaps of leaves. So one afternoon, what happened? When he was feeling bored, he looked down. So he saw a grandstand view of classic of the Indian wilds. It means when he looked down, he saw that the two Indian wild animals, the mongoose and the cobra, were face to face, and they were ready to fight each other. So how do they fight each other? We will know in the next video. So thank you very much for watching this video.